From your experience, would you say that Asperger's people have higher moral values than average people? From my perspective, I would say that I would certainly feel that, or I would hope that other people would feel that I've tried to practice what I preach when I've always believed in that saying, treat people how you expect to be treated, and I mean that in both senses, good and bad. So if you treat me badly, then don't expect me to be nice to you. But if we treat each other nicely, then everything will be just fine. But I have come across people in general, but also people in my own family that I feel can be very judgmental about others, but then when they themselves um, either later on or at the same time are just as bad for the same reasons, then they don't want to be judged by that. For example, some members of my family used to judge me because I used to be a lot bigger in size than what I am now, and I used to find that quite offensive, as I know a lot of people do, and I quite honestly think that it's as I've said to people in my own family in recent years who are quite big, it's nobody else's business what you look like. You shouldn't let other people tell you what you look like. If the main thing is that if you're happy, that's perfectly fine. And the irony is, years later, those very same people that judged me for the way I looked at the time are now really big themselves. And yet, if you were to judge them on the same thing that they judged you on all those years later, they would absolutely, well, they wouldn't be happy, and they would really say, oh, that's not fair, I mean, that's not very nice. But yet they've judged you in the exact same way previously. So I do feel that the average people, or at least like I say, my own family and also outside my family, that in some respects that I've come across, don't always live up to that particular moral. And yet that I know that from my experience that I do try to live by that. And like I say, it works for me on both ways. I don't just mean that I try to be nice to people, but I mean that if they are nasty to me, then I expect to have the right to do the same. And I just was wondering, is this unique to me as somebody who's got Asperger's, or in your experience with people with Asperger's, do you think it's something that is the same right across the board, that Asperger's people have a certain set of values or beliefs in what they stand by, and that they are, very strict on sticking to those? Well, thank you very much for listening, and I will see you in the next video.